Mother Funny Time with Andie and Angie.
2 cousins, 8 kids, 1 grandkid, 2 states.
And a whole lot of fun. Woo! Welcome back, Mother Funny Tribe. It's Angie and Andy. And we're here today to talk to you about something special. It's not really special, but it's Labor Day. So we feel like it's a good time to talk about this. Angie, what are we going to talk about?
Happy Labor Day, Mother Funny Tribe. Hope you're enjoying a nice cold iced tea at the pool, relaxing. Maybe you're at the river. You're at the beach, right? Labor Day. Barbecuing.
And it's hot. It's hot.
Right.
Labor Day's hot. The weather,
again,
that is.
Andy is in Huntington Beach, so nobody feels bad for her.
I mean, it's not that hot here today. It's going to get hot next week. It might hit 90 next week, I hear. I hear rumors.
We're going to move on from the weather because the rest of the country's not going to be very happy with you.
They're going to be mad. But before we could really start, we need to talk about the dinosaur in the room. And that is...
Wait, we're going to talk about hobbies. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we are going to talk about hobbies. We are going to talk about
That's
hobbies.
the topic.
And one of Angie's kids, their hobby is playing with dinosaurs. And today, Angie has shown up to this amazing podcast with a wound on her head.
Yes.
Angie, what happened? She didn't even tell me what happened yet. All I know is it's a dinosaur-related injury. What happened?
I was working on my computer yesterday and Ryan... No. I was working on my computer yesterday and Cole was playing with his dinosaurs. Like, in the living room.
Not
like,
Ryan.
Not Ryan. Cole.
He was actually working. Okay.
Yeah. He was working upstairs. I was on the computer on the couch while Cole was playing with his dinosaurs. Like, it's a win-win as a mom, right? Child is happy and playing. It's fantastic. And all of a sudden, wham! And I got hit by a dinosaur. Like, there was nothing that made me even somewhat closely aware that was going to happen. It wasn't like we were playing like catch the dinosaur or like mom look out. Like, it was nothing. And like Cole sets up these like dinosaur scenes and he, they all eat each other. And sometimes like if the bigger dinosaur will have like a littler dinosaur like in its mouth. I mean, it's the whole like dinosaur situation. And all of a sudden he chucked it. And I was like, oh no. And I grabbed, like put my hand on my forehead because it hurt so bad. And then Cole's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, he wasn't mad. It just, kids just randomly throw things. Like, it was just a random thing.
4-year-olds throw things from time to time.
And
especially dinosaurs.
Especially dinosaurs. And these aren't like glass or metal dinosaurs. Like, it's a plastic
so you thought
dinosaur.
They would be safe.
Yes.
You got the safety dinosaurs.
The spikes are like not actual spikes. Like, they're rounded at the edges. And so I put my hand on my forehead. And then as I like took it off a little bit later, I was like, oh, that's blood. Like, I didn't know I'd been cut. But I have a hard time seeing blood and it grosses me out. So I couldn't like look at it in case there was a lot of blood. Because there's a lot of blood on my hand. Because the cut's pretty deep. So I'm like, oh no, it's blood. So I like run upstairs and Ryan's working and I just open the office door and I like point to my head.
He's like, are we being robbed? What's happening?
And the look on his face was like pure panic. He's like, oh no. And he like got up and like left his meeting. And I was like, just how bad is it? Like, can I look at it? Was kind of my point. Because if it was really bad and there was even more blood, I would have passed out. So that's not good for anybody.
No.
So
No.
it was okay. I survived. Ryan finished his meeting and like I just put, like applied pressure on it. And then Ryan came over and like he put on like the Neosporin and a Band-Aid and everything was fine. And I didn't think anything of it. And it was super cute little Band-Aid. And I was like, do I need stitches? Like, I don't need stitches, but it is pretty deep. And you're like, oh, it's going to scar.
Yeah. And you don't know. You don't know if you're going to need a stitch.
No. And so I then put on a hat that was kind of loose because I had to go to a meeting. I had to go to a cheer meeting. And so a cheer booster club meeting, which FYI, the football booster club, they came up with a super cool name like Armor Rock or something or like.
Oh.
rock workout. Like, that's the name of their booster club. And I was like, well, what's the name of the cheer booster club? And they were like, cheer booster club? I was like, but the football team has this super cool, powerful rock booster club or something.
It should be. The
Anyway,
Rockettes.
we should be the Rockettes. Maybe that would be the drill team. Anyway, we should be DCC Junior.
Yes. Okay. But
so I had a hat on. I had this Band-Aid, which was blueberry from Strawberry Shortcake. When you have kids, you don't actually have neutral color Band-Aids.
Right. I've worn Woody from Toy Story, yes.
See, you understand.
I do.
And this mom's like, what happened? Like, what? She's like, she comes up, she's like, what's going on here? And I was like, I got attacked by a dinosaur. And she's like, okay. And then another mom came up and she's like, what's going on? Do you have like a sticker on your head? And the other mom's like, nope, she got attacked by a dinosaur. Oh, okay. Like, nobody questioned getting attacked by a dinosaur. It was like,
they're all mom life. We get it.
that tracks. I got attacked by a dinosaur, so I thought not having a Band-Aid of a character would make it less obvious.
A little. It just looks, it could be just, one of those big underground pimples that you can get in your, like, you look younger then. You're like, she must be in her 20s because she's got this big, deep pimple.
Yes. I mean, because it's raised. I mean, the bruising is
it's
all.
raised.
It's happening. Like, it's happening. But I survived. I'm a survivor.
She is. Not many people live from a dinosaur attack, but you did. So we're proud of you. And
thank you.
And Cole was, playing with dinosaurs is a great segue into our subject of hobbies. We know kids have hobbies. Kids' lives are hobbies. Everything. There's sports, playing with friends, coloring, crafts, all that stuff. School is something they have to do, but they have so many hobbies. But moms, as we, get older and start having kids, those hobbies can fade away. In fact, my youngest daughter, who's 19, Shiloh, was asking me, hey mom, what are you guys talking about tonight? And I was like, oh, we're talking about hobbies. She's like, I thought your hobbies were just giving birth. Like, she was joking, but I was like, it has been. Now I got to find something else.
Nice. Brooklyn asks me, hey, what are you recording about? I said hobbies. She goes, well, besides being an Uber driver, what's your hobby? I was like, I don't know. Someone asked me like a couple months ago, like, hey, what's your hobby? And I went silent. And I literally could not think of what to say. And then it got even more awkward because it made it seem like I didn't understand the question. And I was like, after a while, I was like, well, let me think. I was like, well, I used to like to walk at the beach, but I haven't lived by the beach in 7 years.
And that always seems like a cop-out, right? If they're like, what's your hobby? You're like, I walk at the beach. It's like, do
right?
you really? Are they long walks at the beach? Are they sunset? Is that your hobby?
It was so awkward. Like, it was so awkward. And I didn't have a reply. And I've kind of been thinking about that since then. Like, what is my hobby? I don't think chugging coffee could be a hobby.
I can drink a lot of coffee really fast. Yeah, the funny thing is I had a really similar experience. Like, I was talking to my counselor and we're just like talking about stuff, and he's like, so what are your hobbies? And same thing, I froze and I was like, and then I felt like that shame of like, I should have hobbies.
Yes. Right.
Like, what am I doing with my life?
It's so not calculus.
It's not.
We should have an answer to that.
And I seriously wanted to be like walking at the beach, but again, I'm like, it just pops in your head. Like, everybody, you could be living in like Kansas and you're like, walks at the beach. So I was like, I don't know. I like movies. I like watching TV. I like to have a glass of wine with friends. And he's like, how often do you have a glass of wine with friends? I'm like, no, not often.
Every night.
Once in a while.
Did that take you on a path of a different direction in that conversation?
He's like, we need to talk. No, he was just like, okay. I'm like, I need hobbies. So no.
The answer is difficult for moms. Because moms just almost like lose themselves in the mom world and focusing on their kids so much and on the day-to-day basis because we're all so busy. Like, I genuinely have not thought about what my hobby was in years. In years. And like you're saying, you wanted to answer one question and you were like, I can't answer that question. But what is your hobby? Is it running now that you got into running?
Yeah, so now it's like running, and we actually do take walks at the beach in the summers. Generally, like this summer is different, but we try to walk several nights a week at the beach, and we run regularly. We do, like races, not where we like compete. We just race to finish. But we're doing, in a few months, we're going to do our second half marathon. So that's become a hobby, and that becomes the whole thing because hobbies cost you money usually. And like I said before in previous episodes, running can be expensive, but yeah, that's my hobby. And I also always want to be like, well, reading's my hobby. That's another, like walks on the beach and reading. But at the time he had asked me, I hadn't picked up a book in like a year.
Nope.
Besides the Bible. I read the Bible. That's my hobby. So I was like, man, I gotta get back to reading. I gotta get, into something. But funny enough, it wasn't that question that got me into running. It was my cholesterol and a friend who invited me to run. So
that led you down the hobby journey.
The hobby journey. And I'm very thankful for it. So I'm a fan of hobbies.
Question.
Yes.
I've never run a half marathon. But recently I was driving by this SUV and it had the decal, like the 13.1. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And I was like, can I just put that on my car to seem cool?
Totally.
Do you have one on your car? Because you should. If
not.
you don't have one,
I don't.
you need to. Like, that's an achievement. That's exciting to do a half marathon.
It was, I think, because I was like injured in my first half marathon. I finished it in time, but I was in pain. So I didn't feel like I did my best, but I mean, I did my best because I finished it even with things coming against me, but I'm really going to try this next time. And then maybe if I do well, I'll get myself a sticker.
I think
I got
you
a
need
hat.
one. You got a hat?
Medal. I have a medal. I hang it in my room. My medal for completion.
Is it framed? Because that should be framed.
It should
That's
be framed.
amazing.
Yeah. Apparently, I need hobbies. So now I'm ready when the question is asked and I don't sound like I just drink wine, watch TV. Or at least they don't know that that's what I do.
Right. Right. But you have a good point because you love running. And that's the key to hobbies is it has to be. It has to. I'm going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, you tell us, girl.
According to the research, it needs to be something that you love because then it actually lowers your stress level and it increases your happiness. So you have to love it, lowers the stress, increases the happiness. And guess what? When it comes to a hobby, it improves your sleep and life satisfaction.
Oh.
I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. But to really think about this, when you're like, well, what do I love? What lowers my stress and increases my happiness, improves my sleep and life satisfaction?
TV shows, a glass of wine with friends.
Like, it is a hard question. We're like, what makes me happy?
What makes me less stressed and how do I get more of that? A clean house?
No.
By
do
someone
not
else.
Make cleaning your hobby.
No, by someone else.
That's
having
not a hobby.
Your house clean.
That's not a habit.
But you said it brings you peace and makes you happy.
You have to be participating in it. Participation.
What if you watch them while you're watching a show and drinking your coffee?
Did you know hobbies create energy, meaning, and purpose? They lead to a greater sense of fulfillment. I was like, let's research hobbies. And all of a sudden it pops up all these definitions. I was like, this is a tough question. What
Maybe
gives
your hobby
me a sense
is
of purpose?
Your hobby is researching. And this podcast. We're podcasting. Is this a hobby?
Oh, this is a job.
Oh,
a
it's
job that we love.
Okay. It's work. So, okay. So
Because
it's work.
your hobby can't feel like a chore. So that
Does
takes
this
out your
feel
cleaning.
like a chore?
No, I'm going to the cleaning one. You said
No,
cleaning.
I said having your house cleaned by someone else.
That's not going to make you more creative and give you energy. Hobbies do that.
But what if you learn how to clean and you're like, oh, I could do that if I wanted. Look at how well they're doing it. I don't know. I think researching is your hobby.
I love researching.
Yes.
I do enjoy it. Like, it is so fun to me. It is. I don't know. That makes me sound really nerdy and homeschooling.
No, it does. I mean, homeschooling, yes. I don't know where you got this love of research.
Give me the flashcards. I need a highlighter and some pens.
I think if anything, this podcast is really nailed down.
The homeschool influence
Your
in my life.
homeschool influence.
I've
Yes.
tried to hide it for so many years, and I apparently have not done a good job
No,
at that.
it's just come out in your momness. Like when you were young, it was probably people didn't know. And then by kid 5, it was all over. Probably kid 3, 4, 3 and 4. Maybe kid 2, maybe first kid. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. Hobbies inspire you and nourish the soul.
Did that give you so much peace and joy to find that out when you looked online?
I'm like, nourish the soul? Not only do I have to figure out what makes me happy, reduces my stress, gives me fulfillment, but what nourishes my soul and helps me sleep better? I don't know. This is a hard
hobby
question.
is Ambien. Just kidding. My hobby is, I don't know, Benadryl, whatever helps.
But that doesn't give you energy, so it's out.
No, but if you sleep really well.
Well, that's
I know,
medication.
I'm just trying to make things in everyday life a hobby. So that next time if my counselor's like, what's your hobby? I could be like, well, I drink wine with friends and Ambien.
Oh, gosh.
I've never taken Ambien. I think I would react. Disclaimer. I know people, it helps very much, but yeah.
If you
that
take
would be
Ambien,
funny.
we don't judge.
Yeah,
We just
don't
haven't done
judge. I heard it works. I'm just scared for me because I would probably be one of those sleepwalkers because I can sleepwalk. It hasn't happened in a long time, but I've been known to do it. So anyway.
Oh my gosh.
That's my hobby, sleepwalking on Ambien.
We would like everyone to take only prescription medication. Make sure your health is followed by a doctor.
The doctor has to prescribe it.
No black market drugs.
No, don't make it your hobby.
Drug dealing's out.
Yes.
Maybe that's what I need first. I need a list of what I should not have. As a list.
You should research it.
Do not become a drug dealer. Do not mix medication and wine.
Right. Yes. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Nourishes the soul. Come on. That's a lot of pressure.
I think we're already up for this time, so we're going to have to nourish your soul next episode with some ideas. Ideas for Angie. That's what we'll name it.
No.
Ideas for
All
Angie.
moms.
And
This is
all
moms. We're talking to moms about hobbies because we want them to help. We want to help them have hobbies and find hobbies and have an answer to a very basic question, which, as it turns out, is not a basic question.
No, it's not. It's something I bet you that most moms like us don't even think about. I mean, I know there's moms out there who have hobbies and they know it, but I bet you there's a lot of moms out there that are like, hobbies? Keeping children alive is my hobby.
Okay, here it is. When someone asks you, what's your hobby? Just say, I'm really working on figuring that out. What nourishes your soul and gives you energy and helps you sleep at night and helps you feel fulfilled? Put it back on them. You're going to ask me that type of question?
Yeah, okay.
Very
back on
controversial question.
100%. I love it. Okay, well, next episode, we're going to talk about it. We're going to give ideas.
Hobbies and
And
moms.
I'll
Hobbies.
talk about some of my hobby journey that
Oh,
might be helpful, but not a lot because I want to hear more ideas because I need more hobbies.
Is Ambien and alcohol included in your journey?
No, I think we've said no.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's right.
No.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so find us on
YouTube at Mother Funny with Andie and Angie, or like us and share us.
Share us.
Tell a
and
friend.
Shout out to all our viewers on the YouTube.
The YouTube.
The YouTube. My hobby is to say the before everything. Yes, it nourishes my soul. Okay.
Is it fun? Hobbies have to be fun also.
It's fun. It's very fun.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. All right. That's all we have time for today. We got to wrap it up, unfortunately. But just remember, you might think you're doing just okay, but we think you're doing really great.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you have a great Mother Funny day. Please like and share our podcast.
But please don't tell our moms.